Okay, Mrs. Dickinson's been working on a strategy to improve her performance in futsal, so I have a few questions for her to see how that's been going. So, first of all, what strategy are you applying?
So the strategy that I chose to apply to improve my futsal performance was using tactics and strategies. And I think I was the only one that chose that.
Okay, and how did you apply this during our futsal practical sessions?
Well, there was a few ways that I applied it. I didn't really know much about the strategy, but from my other sports I did know a little bit about man-on-man defence, so I was able to use that right from the start. But what I found is that we had some experienced players in the class, so Bryn and Sam were both able to give us some specific information, and Bryn particularly gave us some information around team tactics, looking at the 2-and-2 and also at the diamond formation for team strategy. The coach has helped as well, and so he's been looking at focusing on the man-on-man defence, but then also covering the next pass, and really working at turning over the ball at halfway. So I guess I got that sort of information about skills and tactics that were specific from futsal from those experienced players, and then I've worked really hard to put it into my training and my games.
Great. Okay, so why are you applying this strategy, and how do you think it will help improve your overall performance?
Well, I thought it was important because it's a team sport, and while I can improve my individual skills, they're kind of no good if I can't contribute to the team. So I was really aiming initially to improve my individual skills for attack and defence, and particularly with defence. But as I went on, I realised that the overall aim was actually more to contribute to the team attack and defence.
Okay. So is it working as you expected at the moment?
Well, at the moment it is, but at first it wasn't. What I found is that whenever we played, everybody would just run to get to the ball. Now that we have a team strategy with the man-on-man defence, there's a lot more space. And so with that extra space, it means that when the ball comes to me, or when I'm defending the player with the ball, I actually have more time and space to improve my skills. So that's been a real positive, and my skills have improved from that. I'm learning to control the ball. Oh, and sorry, I'm just gonna read from the notes. Don't know if is it working as you expected at the moment. So, and then ask.
Cool. So how do you know that it's actually working, and are there any positive and negative outcomes from your application?
Well, I know that it's working in lots of different ways. So for example, I can control the ball much better. So when it comes to me, and then when I pass, my passing is far more accurate. The coach gave me some feedback about that, and about the fact that my passing is far more accurate, and I recorded that down in my log on the 2nd of June. And also my teacher said that she could see me consistently applying pressure on my opponent. So from that feedback, that gives me some evidence that I'm improving. In terms of the positive and negative outcomes of this, of looking at focusing on tactics and strategies, one of the negatives I found is that you kind of need everybody to do it, and everybody to follow those sort of tactics and strategies. Otherwise, if you're operating on your own and everything else breaks down, you don't really have a chance to develop those. And it is harder to develop as an individual. Sometimes the results are inconsistent. So for example, when we had the same team playing together for a couple of games, I found that we got much better as we were sort of all following the same strategies and tactics. And then sometimes it wasn't so good because one team would sort of have the strategies nailed, but they would dominate over everybody else. But a positive is that all my skills have developed, because now I have time to think about combining the strategies with the skills, so that my performance and the way that, and I've basically become more competitive in the game, and I can work to beat my opponent much better.
Oh, okay. So what will you do next, and why?
So next, or in the future, I think that I need a lot more time to practice. I always felt really rushed with the practice time. It would also be good to have take some video, maybe at the beginning and then after a few sessions, so that I can look back at it and get some more specific feedback on my improvements and what I can keep improving. I also found this a useful strategy. This is the next question. I found this a useful strategy to improve my performance because it's also made me gain a really good understanding of the game, which I don't think I would have had perhaps if I'd looked at just the amount of practice that I'd had. I've also appreciated how important it is that some of your tactics and strategies are team-based, not just individual.
Cool. Excellent. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
I was just thinking...
What about the crossover?
Oh yeah, so I found that this skill was really useful for improving my performance in netball as well, because all of a sudden I just seemed to have a better understanding in general about team attack and team defence. I know that at the start I wished, after a few lessons, I really wished that I'd chosen motivation or goal setting as like a lot of my friends did, because it seemed much easier. But I actually think because I've focused on tactics and strategies that my performance has improved quite considerably. So that's about it.
Great. Thank you.